Hi Izzy, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. How are you, Amy?
I'm great, thank you. So I have some
Oh,
questions to ask you today about your academy experience. So my first question for you today is, how do you feel you've transitioned from the 1010 Academy to your client work?
I think it's been a really nice transition, and actually, it's been made easier by the experience I've had in the academy. So it's very much set me up for the work environment that I'm in with the client. So it's given me the tools, also the foundational knowledge with the technical aspects of it, but also when it comes down to just working the environment, with it being an agile environment as well, when it comes to interacting with stakeholders and also just being in stand-ups and knowing how they work and some of the expectations that I need to be prepared for, and also how to communicate that well with the client as well.
Brilliant. And like considering you're from a non-tech background, do you think that made the transition like harder, or do you think the academy made it quite smooth no matter what you were doing before?
Yeah, I think the academy really well prepared me for that. And I think as well, it's hard sometimes when you're not from a technical background to feel that you're going to lack confidence going into somewhere where it is more technical. But I think the academy was very much its attitude over aptitude. Aptitude, of course, you have to know the technical elements and they give you that foundational knowledge, but it's up to you what you do with that. And very much, I was curious always to learn about new things. And the clients, have really been a nice environment and encouraged that as well. So what we learned in the academy has really set me up nicely to work in the environment that I'm currently in as well. And I think as well there's the emphasis not to worry about that too much as well when you first go in. It's very much a clean slate for you to learn that brand new knowledge and to feel free to ask any questions that you've got.
That's great. So if you could take me through your placement, what client teams have you worked for and what specific projects have you been responsible for during your placement?
Yeah, so currently the client that I'm working with, I arrived here just before the summer started. So I'm focusing currently on API migration. So it's very much a business to business communication at the moment. So I've been lucky that I'm very much on Teams calls and I love a good chat as well. So anything like that, it's really grown my confidence over the last few months with doing that as well. I think the academy really well prepared me for that in a sense of having to speak with different stakeholders, maybe different requirements that you're going to have to gather, and each individual customer may require something different from you, and how to communicate that as well. So we've been focused on the API migrations at the moment. So it's currently about moving customers from one API to another API. So so there is some technical aspects in that as well. So the communication is something that I do day to day, but the technical ones will be using Ready API and looking at APIs there, which has been really interesting for me because it's something that I'd had the experience slightly in the academy as well, but also been able to build that knowledge more and being able to ask questions on client side as well, which has really been encouraged.
So what you're doing now project wise, is that something that you were expecting to go into, or when you'd left the academy, was it something that you thought, oh yeah, I'm happy to do that, or was it something that you didn't think you'd end up doing after doing all the training?
Yeah, I think it was something I was very much flexible with the idea. I just want to go out and learn more. So it was really nice that the client is the environment where I've got that opportunity to do so as well. But the API specifically, possibly not expected entirely in a sense of would I be confident in going into that? But actually going into it, I've really enjoyed doing it, and I'm actually really enjoying the technical side more than I ever thought I would at the beginning.
That's really good. I think that's the best way to go through with it, because I think when you're learning something in theory, you're never sure what you're going to like, and then when it goes to actually applying, that's when you kind of discover what you like doing because you're actually doing it, and it's usually quite different to just learning about it.
Yeah.
So my next question is, what parts of the 1010 Academy training have been the most useful in your placement?
I think very much the stakeholder management. So some of the stuff that I did in the core academy training, but also the additional training. So that's also in, when it's looked at requirements and things like that and gathering that from customers and how you communicate with stakeholders and, with managers and clients and also my colleagues at work as well. That's been really important just to know the process of the work environment and who I need to talk to and who I would direct questions to. But also very much customer facing as well. So the type of email communications and things I had, even things like that, sets you up really nicely for the academy and how you talk to people. So my confidence has grown really much in there. Where actually I'd already thought I'd been quite set up in that because I didn't come from a non-tech background. It was very much it was very much, I was doing journalism prior to that, so it was very much different. So I thought the communication of it, I would have almost had that from the get-go, and the technical aspect I would have struggled slightly more. But in actual fact, they seem to have grown really nicely together in some areas. So I think some of the stuff that we did, even just building like Lego City and things like that, which is very much around an agile environment, but it's that sort of environment here sets you up really nicely. So as much as it seems very much fun in the academy and it's made fun and you're very much learning without even realizing, those things like that really transition nicely over onto client side.
That's great, and also the idea of your confidence as well, because that's something that you take outside of your career as well, and it's just something you learn along living. So it's good that you've been learning for your career, but it's actually helped you in a different aspect of your life as well. So my next question is, what is a normal working day or week for you?
So I'm in the office Monday to Friday, which actually I really love. I know some people are very much like, oh, I'd love to be working from home, but I really like it because it means that I can separate, home from work. And, as soon as I finish. And as soon as I work, I'm prepared for the day. So I always try to get in around about 10 to 15 minutes early because I'm super organized about my day. I always like to have a cup of tea. So I get into work. I normally check all my emails, Teams messages first thing, just to see if there's any updates that I need to be aware of. And then look at my calendar to see if I've got any calls scheduled with customers or if there's anything that I need to do ASAP. And then, day to day it'll be about, because ours is very much about being aware of where your customer is at and what stage you're at with an API integration. So you've got to make sure your tickets are very much up to date. So that I'll be making sure that all your customers are on track with their API integration. So it'll be checking that throughout the day and sort of checking in with customers as well, to see if they've got any questions or queries they want to put to me. So I'll be doing that for most of the day. And then some of the other, I've been recently put on other projects to help out because there is a wider 1010 team here, which has been really nice and really welcoming to me, and who've been here slightly a few months before me. So it was nice to meet them, and I've sort of been asking, oh, can I help and do things like that. So I've sort of been across teams, sort of wanting to learn more really. So it's been really nice to meet everybody here as well.
I think that's really nice knowing that there's people that were from 1010 as well, because they're slightly further along their tech journey, so you can also see, that's me in 3 months, 6 months type of thing, and they completely get it because they came from the exact same position that you came from. So not only is you and your group that you've gone with in that position, you're seeing kind of the future use and seeing what they've picked up from the academy and also from the placement, which I think will be quite fulfilling, because then you know what to expect slightly when you're at that client as well.
Yeah, it makes it 10 times quicker as well. You're learning things at a quicker pace maybe than what they had before, because of just that extra knowledge there, which is really nice.
Yeah, definitely. You have someone kind of watching over you slightly as well. They'll look after the fellow 1010 people. So have your roles or responsibilities changed during your time on placement?
I think the change as my confidence has grown more, I think, which has been really nice. So it wasn't just thrown at the deep end from the beginning. It was very much learn on the job and just feel free to ask any questions that you've got. So that was really nice. There was never any hesitation on my part that I shouldn't ask any questions or I shouldn't feel like I should. And the clients have been really encouraging of that. So it's been really nice to sort of see the gradual process. And obviously only when you look back do you see that. So there's been like the opportunities to do other projects and things like that, which has been nice, which I think with the more technical aspects, which I felt like I've definitely grown in confidence more and enjoy more, it's meant that I've had other opportunities then to go and work on those projects as well. So that's been nice recently that I've been able to do that, and sort of the responsibilities to have some of the customer calls as well. I think that's, we're sort of at the beginning I'd be going on with somebody else just to have that extra person there so we can sort of bounce off of each other on the calls, where now I do feel more confident to go on those calls alone and feel confident in my own knowledge that I'm able to do that.
I think looking back and reflecting on, like you said, you really just started before summer and it's now the start of September. So to
Yeah.
say that you've done so many different things so quickly and you're starting to answer the calls on your own and things like that, it's definitely, I think, fulfilling to see your progress. You look back and you think, I've done quite a lot in such little time, and you're doing very well. And I think it shows the client placement that you've been put on is the right place for you, because the things that they're offering, like by the sounds of it, help wise, is exactly what you need, particularly at the beginning of your career. So I think that's really nice to know. So what technology tools, frameworks and processes have you gained experience with since starting your client work?
So currently day to day we do use Ready API, which is been really interesting and such like a learning curve for me. Having come from like a non-tech background, I didn't think day to day I'd be using those sort of tools as well. I'm feeling confident in being able to do that, and test things out, and just sort of for my own curiosity as well. So we use that day to day. Notepad++ as well. The new technology that would be, that I've been working with that. I'd sort of been introduced and heard of through the academy as well, but also actually using day to day has been really nice as well. So aside from the technology side of it as well, it's just being able to use Teams, use emails, which I think actually is quite underestimated. Being able to send a quick email and things like that, and make sure you're doing it appropriately as well. You're speaking to customers, and you've got to, of course, remain professional and things like that. And those things, day to day, is what we do use as well. And just the process of being on Teams calls, so that could be whether it's with managers on client side or with customers and things like that. So. Yeah.
How has your client supported your developments? This could be in training sessions or one-to-ones or any sort of individual projects.
Yeah, so we do have like daily stand-ups. Like I say, we have them twice a day, and that's really an environment where we're encouraged to sort of ask questions. Also update what we're doing and things like that, but also to feel free to ask any questions of any other projects that are going on. And also, it's a great opportunity. Sometimes managers have just, said on client side, well, if you want to, go and ask so and so about that, and go and ask questions about that, and it sort of pointed me in the right direction to further grow my knowledge as well on the technical side, which I'm, really keen to do. But also just like we do have one-to-ones as well, which are every sort of at least every month, which is really nice just to check in as well, just to see how we're getting on. Is there anything else that we want to sort of further go into on client side, which is really nice just to take that time. So it might be like 30 minutes or something like that, but it's really nice just to have a catch up, because sometimes we're all very much in work mode, but it's nice just to have that catch up on a personal level as well, and see what direction we want to go and to further our careers in the future and later down the line.
Yeah, it's quite important. I think also just knowing your colleagues on a personable level anyway, to an extent, is important, because it makes your team bond better, just knowing general things about each other, even if it's just like ways to have small talk. It makes the day go a bit nicer rather than just complete work mode as well. And how have 1010 supported you during your placement?
I think because of the really nice transition from the academy, I think that's been really important. And also just being available to, constantly do upskilling. So, on client side, it's really nice to have as well. But also being able to have that point of contact with 1010. And I know the wellbeing team and is very much a nice bridge to that as well. Which is sometimes very much like unusual to have, but it's really nice to have that. It feels you're very much still in touch with 1010. So I've gone to like loads of social events as well over the summer, which has been nice. We've been some 1010 ones, and because I've got 1010 colleagues here as well, it's very much kept us all in touch with each other. And also I've been doing things like I'm speaking to you today, Amy, but I'm also going to do Q&A with some of the academy, because I'm really I'm really wanting to as well promote the idea that you don't have to come from a technical background to be successful in the tech field as well. Hopefully, I've proven that to myself actually, just going from the academy and then coming to client side and feeling like I'm constantly learning something new every day, which is actually really exciting for me, because every day I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to learn today, or asking questions, is there anything else I can do today to help, which has been nice to see.
Yeah, that's really lovely. It shows how important what we do is, because it's quite the fact that you've been inspired to kind of still speak about it and hopefully recruit more people that haven't come from a tech background and think, if you want to do this, you can do this.
Yeah.
Hearing it from a company itself, everyone says what they want to say about their own company, but hearing it about someone that's actually been through the journey and is someone that's come out on the other side and look, this is what I do now, it's so different because it's a personal experience, and that can be really, really inspiring for other people. So that's really nice to know that you're still getting the support from us and you're also giving stuff back to us as well. That's really nice. And have you been given any extra opportunities through your client work?
Yes, I think I very much do different projects and things like that. So that's been nice. Been put in different directions to other projects, and actually some of the more back end stuff as well, which I've been looking at, and some of the other 1010 colleagues here are more inclined to that side of the tech world where I've never been exposed to that. So it's been nice because we've been able to sit side by side on other projects, and I've been able to see that happening live and just ask questions. So that's been really nice, and just working across the different teams because there's also other API migrations that are happening as well. So just to learn that broader knowledge about what's happening here on client side has been really interesting as well.
That's brilliant. So I do have one more question to ask you today, and it is just, if there's anyone watching this that's thinking about applying to the academy, what would you say to them?
I'd say, apply. Don't worry about, don't overthink it, because I think very much I was in my head about actually being from a non-tech background and worrying about not having the confidence in that, I'll be looked on differently coming into an academy, and I'll be surrounded by people who, really technically able, and I would be the only one that wasn't. In actual fact, it's a real nice mix of different people from different backgrounds. And like I said, I came from a background where I'd done history as my degree and then journalism as a master's. So very much not techie at all, maybe from using Photoshop and things like that, or clipping videos. But that was the extent of it. Where, now being on client side and the other side of the academy, I realised how important that environment of the academy was to build my confidence to actually feel that I can grow further and feel confident in that on client side as well. So no, if anybody is thinking about it, then don't hesitate to do that.
That's amazing. There were some really brilliant answers. Thank you so much for speaking to me today.
Oh no, thanks a lot, Amy.